Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for another season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This season, we're taking a deep dive into the heart of the music community. Join us for personal conversations with musicians and industry pros, where we celebrate the collective creativity that makes our favorite artists, venues, and events so special. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and valued supporter Buffalo Ironworks for helping to keep the music alive. Anita West is the embodiment of energy and musical passion. Her commercial rock journey began in Atlantic City in 1983, eventually leading her to Buffalo in 1988, where she became the midday personality at 97 Rock. A self-proclaimed music head, Anita's life revolves around the industry. When she's off air, she stays busy as a promoter, talent buyer, and event coordinator. When it's time to unplug, you'll find her tending her garden, cycling, hitting the Lake Erie beaches, or chasing the horizon on the back of a motorcycle.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I kind of like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you can catch Anita on her Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on the Saturday Meetup and Sunday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on Get the Let Out.
Wow.
It's my honor to welcome to the Flamingo Lounge, Anita West.
Whoa.
Anita.
All right.
All right. Woo.
So I've arrived finally after 39 years in Buffalo. All right. I have to ask, am I in the beautiful people crowd now?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know you travel in that old Buffalo beautiful people crowd?
Yeah. Well, I'm traveling in the old beautiful, the young people.
I've arrived.
13 to 92. I'm very proud to say I've had
the
people of all genres.
Flamingo Lounge.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
where's the drinks?
What's that?
Drinks?
Drinks? Oh yeah.
Food drinks? Do we have or anything?
Yeah, not here. So, unfortunately we couldn't be in the Flamingo Lounge tonight. So
we have to explain why.
Well, I have a black cat, and I know you're not a cat person, right?
No. Whoa. No. Oh no!
Okay.
Don't.
No, oh no. Okay.
Oh my God.
Tell me the real story.
So I'm not. I'm allergic to cats.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with a black cat, or I'm not a cat person.
I just had to say it's a black cat because my wife loves her black cat.
I think black cats are cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
you know
who loves black cats is Billy Sheehan.
Yeah.
Billy's
I'm
a big
not
black
surprised.
cat guy. Yeah.
So I was on. Speaking of Billy Sheehan, so I was at the station. I was on Saturday, and across the hall is Classic Hits 104.
Right.
And Brian J. Walker, and he goes, come here. And so I came in because now, radio, you could push a button, and it goes on auto. And so I went in, and he had this old picture up of like 8 guys, man.
Okay.
And I mean teenagers. Right. This is an old picture, man. And he goes, recognize anybody there? Oh. And I go, I can't see, Yeah. So he blew it. He blew the picture up on the screen, and I looked. I'm right on his board.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me get closer. And I'm like, that could be. I took a guess at somebody. I don't remember who it was, and I go, dude, I don't know. And he goes, that's Billy Sheehan. Yeah. And it was a picture of Billy Sheehan. He was maybe like 15.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it didn't look like him. It was amazing.
Right. Was that with Opus One? There's a picture.
Was that a band? Was it a band?
It's a band. Yeah. That was.
Yeah.
Band.
I mean, like really young.
Yeah.
Because like Dave Constantino, when I know even when he was in, what was the band? Old Buffalo band.
The Tweed. I think he was
Tweeds.
The
Tweeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could see a picture of him even when he was like 13 on stage. It still looks like him.
Yeah.
But Billy Sheehan, that was crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I think that whole crowd. Because I just did a recording with Dick Bowerly, and of course he's a Ken Maurice guy, and Billy was all Ken Maurice. All those guys were.
Dick Bowerly is the man.
Yeah,
he's really great.
East or West, and he's like, oh yeah, there was Bruce Piccato and there Teddy Reinhardt.
That was it. That was the picture.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't even recognize Teddy.
Yeah.
I mean, I bombed. It
Right.
was a zero with a bad. I swing battle, swing. Yeah,
I would have loved to have been a teenager back in those when all those guys were doing their garage bands and playing the church dances and all that. I mean, man, that had to be something else back there in the 60s.
I can't, because I moved here in 1988.
Right.
So I grew up in Cleveland. So I saw the Cleveland bands, like at mixers and stuff.
Right.
Because I went to parochial, grade school. So,
Sure.
the mixers where the boys and girls mix. And it would be like Eric Carmen and Michael Stanley.
Wow.
It would be that, really like the Billy Sheehan's. And that would be my, yeah. It was, those were, and the funny thing was, even then, I just wanted to see the band.
Right.
I have always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a fake ID. I didn't drink.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got stoned,
right.
But I didn't drink. I didn't care about going to bars unless there was a band.
Right.
So, there was some cool things. Cleveland Agora, the original one that was in an alley. Kind of like different pockets in like the ward.
Okay.
Stuff, but everything was, brick and the old Cleveland Agora. And, I didn't, I couldn't get in there because I was young, but there were a couple places that would let me in because they really believed me. I was an athlete. I was a tomboy, what I mean, man? And I just wanted to see the band. And they would let me in the back way, and I would just stand and watch the band and then exit.
Right.
Yeah. So I it's always been about like the band.
Yeah. So kind of, I mentioned off air, I like to always ask musicians, like, did they have an aha moment when they said, music's what I want to do? What was that first song that you remember just gotcha?
I got to tell you, and it's going to be so, there was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with me, it was different because I played bass a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, everybody toyed,
but
I wanted to be Eddie Van Halen right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't work.
Right.
I played classical guitar and, blah, blah, blah. I think the longest instrument I stayed with was bass.
Okay.
But I came in as a, tiny dancer,
sure.
seamstress for the band. So that was the angle why I was kind of coming in. And I was an athlete. I was a naturally gifted athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in sports, and I never really felt like I fit in, though I was always with the right popular people.
Right.
They didn't know that I didn't want to be with them.
Right.
I was just there. I was always kind of on the the edges of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was by no means a loner, but I actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So when we would have slumber parties in 5th and 6th grade, I was always a documenter. I'd do the slumber book, but then I would find the albums in the old, because I grew up with like Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So the family was like 9 and 12 kids.
Okay.
And so when, everybody was doing the slumber party, stupid things, I don't know, drawing on people's faces and stuff, I would sneak away and find a bedroom with Creator Records albums. And so I was, would do that.
Sure.
And so anyway, I rode my Schwinn Continental, down to, it was, was it Kathy Fort's house? And there was like 7 million, kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she had older brothers and sisters. And so it was actually day, we were going to basketball practice.
Okay.
And she said, okay, hold on. And I was in the kitchen, brick house in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And I could smell like, smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, and there was the basement door was kind of cracked, and I could hear sound down there, but it was dark. And, I was that kid.
Yeah.
So I went down the steps, and I didn't hit the landing at the end. And I look, and there was a bunch of hippies in beanbag chairs, and they were all looking at the television, which was glowing.
Yeah.
And I looked, and it was this guy dancing around in a red, white, and blue American hat, a cape, and a cane. And it was Mick Jagger, and it was Gimme Shelter.
Okay.
Right there.
Right.
It all shifted. Here's how it shifted. I thought, I found my tribe. And of course, at that point, tribe is like the new, word you use.
Sure.
I found people like me, and they were all there.
Right.
And that guy on the TV. I found it. And then everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed.
Wow. That's crazy.
That was maybe, Gimme Shelter must have been, brand new on TV. I'm going to say 73 or 74, around that time.
All right.
It was Mick. It was that guy dancing around in the red, white, and blue cap and cape. And those people, by the way, all those hippies down there never looked at me.
Wow.
They were, it was just, that was it. I swear to God, it was that moment.
Right.
Does everybody that you interview have a moment? Like, some people don't, man.
Some people don't. No.
That was, lightning struck me. I knew I didn't have to fake it anymore. Like you, because I really don't.
Yeah.
And I found it. And that was it. Everything changed that moment. For real.
Right.
Is that, God, I even thought that is my aha moment.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
It's really true.
A lot of people, they'll start with saying, no, I didn't have one. And then halfway through they'll go, now, wait a minute. This was my aha moment. And they, they're like, yeah, now that they think about it. I mean, some people had very distinctive ones like that. Like, obviously, people of a certain age, they said February 9th, 1964, when the Beatles made the Sullivan Show. They're like, yeah, that was it. It was all over but the shouting. They went out and got a guitar or a Hofner bass or a Ludwig drum kit and started a garage.
Isn't that cool? That actually happened. I was a little bit off that mark. But like Bruce Mosher talked about it, and some of the older cats, rest in peace, Bruce. I miss him. I miss Could
God,
Be.
I love Bruce. I
have so many things to tell him. Yeah. Right. There's so many things have happened since he passed away. We were such close friends, and but that wasn't. It was the Rolling Stones, guys who wore makeup, who wore boas, and I found it, and it never changed.
Yeah.
No, never changed.
I was almost the same, but mine was the Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey.
Man,
Rockabilly Man just got to me.
I'm not surprised by that, because you're like a rockabilly guy.
Oh, I'm a rockabilly guy for sure. It was that, and then on we were one of the first to get cable on our street, so we had HBO. Yeah. So they were playing that session from the Elvis 68 comeback special with just him in the black leather.
Oh, dude!
But it was the whole thing, right?
Dude, so huge, huge.
And Scotty Moore, and then it was and then it was MTV with Stray Cats.
Oh well, yeah.
Saw Brian Setzer play, and it's like it's all over. But
are you like, so what years are we talking? Because I dipped into like early to mid 70s.
Yeah.
So
I was born in 64. So
we're right. So you're my brother's age. Yeah. My brother was born in 64. Yeah.
So I grew up with all the great variety shows. I mean, I used to watch all those with my mom, on TV, and see all the great stuff. And Bandstand was on, and
I was a Soul Train kid.
Yeah, I was Soul Train too.
I gotta be honest, man. I thought Bandstand, and of course I watched it. Yeah. But to me, it seemed a little candy ass.
Yeah.
Like Soul Train, man. Yeah. That was like it.
I think
Darn Cornelius.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, it was Saturday. It was Saturday because I'd watch all the Saturday morning cartoons, and then Bandstand would come out, and then Soul Train was.
Did you do Bandstand. Like banana splits?
Oh, the banana splits.
And the monkeys. The monkeys.
La, 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 la.
Yeah. The monkeys. I love that time period because everybody, and I'm not sure if it came from the early Beatles because early Pink Floyd did it too. And like Todd Rundgren's Nas did it, but they would do that crazy videos where the Monkees had where they'd walk backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
You know, and they were doing, I mean, oh my God, so good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we had HR Puffin stuff.
Oh,
I mean, my gosh, that was like
the best.
That was a total acid trip, you know?
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't know it. You know, I was a kid.
Did you watch Davy and Goliath?
Oh, yeah. Gee, Davy. Hey, ya, Davy.
It just.
One of the guys we were just talking said that the other day, and the younger people are like, what are you guys talking about? Like, oh, you missed it, you know?
Yeah, they could, but you know what? They have the availability to pop it up on their phone in a New York fucking minute, man. Boom, there it is.
Oh, I know. Right? It's like I told my kids, I'm like, we didn't just get to pop in a DVD of like, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You waited for that to come on every Christmas, and if you missed it, you missed it.
I mean, you had Wizard of Oz. You waited for that. I think it was around Thanksgiving time, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you know, listen, I never like to travel down. Boy, it was better then. Yeah. I'm not sure it was or wasn't. I don't know because, you know, that was, you know, those were my beginnings, but
yeah.
I can tell you without reserve, I am so fucking glad we didn't have cell phone cameras.
Right.
I cannot tell you how screwed I would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, yeah. High level. I'm not even sure I would have, you know, made it to college at that point.
Right.
I mean, I'm really bad stuff. You know, thank you, Lord.
That's right.
for not having. Yeah. You know, the cell phones.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You know, even with my kids, you know, like they're always like, it's funny because like I grew up with Bugs Bunny, Scooby-Doo, all that stuff. Right?
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
And they grew up with the Rugrats and Doug. So they have their like shows and their Friday night shows. And now they're like, you know, gee, Dad, because they're in their late 30s now. And they're like,
wow.
Yeah, you know, this stuff they got now, Dad, it stinks compared to what we had. You know, so it's just kind of like this.
It really is.
You know, and now my granddaughter, who's 4,
dude,
she likes K-pop Demon Hunters.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's Korean music. It's on Netflix, and it's Korean pop, and
you know it's funny.
It's all the rage. She knows all the words. I
heard about this.
Yeah.
Wow.
My daughter's like, oh, she loves it. So I bought a CD, and she came over the other day, and I said, I made a nice graphic, a straight cast that I have on my floor. It's about 3 feet wide.
Oh, I bet your graphics are good.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. She says, Grampy, this is my dance circle. So she comes over and she says, can we go downstairs and listen to music? I'm like, yes.
Wow.
I'm like 4 years old. I'm like, yeah, we're training her right.
So at that point, when she says, can we listen to music? So then what happens?
I'm like, absolutely, let's go. I said,
so does she lead the way, or are you trying to insert brainwashing into good things, or what?
I have played Elvis for her, and I've played some other stuff. So, but then I got the K-pop Demon Hunter, and she was just loving every minute of it.
I love that.
Yeah, my son-in-law's got the DJ set up at their apartment, so she puts on the headphones and.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I mean that. Like, if I were to have had, I mean, you know, I knew music was it. I knew I was pretty driven. I knew kind of where I was going, you know, pretty quick.
Right.
That being said, if I had a counter me, there would be no question I would have loved to have been because first of all, there was always guys around me because there was no females because everything I did was guys. Now that's way different.
Right.
There are females everywhere, but you know, I was always that one.
Right.
Yeah, which in the end, in retrospect, because I have so many years behind me now, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we put on what's that Frank Sinatra song? You know, he goes through all the seasons and
the
girls whose hair smells so pretty. You know, I mean, yeah. So I feel like I'm almost doing that, but I forgot where I was going there. Apologies.
It happens to all of us. I do that. A squirrel, you know. It's like
yeah. I was. Wait a minute. Where was? Let me think about that. Female DJ, club DJ, mixer with like some crazy shtick, like putting on a, mask or something,
right,
and trying to elevate it into a bigger, a club DJ, like a real one, like crazy ones that have like capes and travel around and like fake heads, like bucket head, but it would be, something like that. I would have loved that. I really would have loved that, because you got I don't want to be, I never wanted to be on camera. I never wanted to be on stage.
Right.
I like the concept of being behind it. And that's really cool, because you get the live, so you can feed off the energy of the room, and you can also create that energy.
Right.
But you're in the background just doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember when I went to SUNY Fredonia and started in '82, and a friend of mine in my graphics class, he was from Long Island, and this was back before, we were still had tapes and records and all that, and he was mixing stuff. Yeah,
the mix thing is really cool, man.
And it was like, he was like way ahead of his time, and that was back when, White Lines would come on at the end of the night. That was our song,
White Lion?
White Lines, Grandmaster Flash and MC5.
Oh,
bass.
Oh, that's
baby.
The name.
Yeah.
You said White Lines. I'm like,
that's
I
the
went
name
in,
of the, that's
went
the name
into
of the
a
song.
different like part of my life.
That was like the end of the
Thank
night.
God.
Just everyone got on the dance floor. That was our song back in the day. And,
when Public Enemy played down at the Inner Harbor, when they were still doing those under the Peace Bridge, I went to go see Public Enemy. I was like so excited. And it was a great show, but the thing that my eye went to, because I always like being in the front, was the DJ. That was one of the greatest DJs I have ever seen. I couldn't get over how great he was.
Yeah. Somebody I got to get on my show is DJ Psych.
Oh, DJ Psych's great. I got a lot of stories about DJ Psych.
Yeah, he's awesome. I've had Damone on, and a bunch of those guys.
So. Right next door at Central Park Grill, when I was booking Central Park Grill, so I had Crit, and Crit said, and I always, I need to know what's going on. I'm not. It would appear like I'm free form, but I'm not. I really like, okay, and this is when we go on, this is when we go off. Oh, you got 15-minute break, 15 minutes. And he brought, he goes, oh, you know what? And then he brought him to the 12th when I was booking blues at the 12th. Hold on, was it CPG or was it the 12th? I can't remember, but he brought in DJ Psych. And I was like, I am a fan of DJ Psych. When you get him on, please let me know.
Oh, I will. Yeah,
I am a fan.
He's on my list. I haven't talked to him yet, so if you're listening, give me a call. So let me ask, so when did you start?
Which part?
What's that?
When did I start?
When did you start DJing? So when did you get
radio
into radio?
DJ?
Yep.
So I went to Ashland College in Ashland, Ohio, where everything was named Ashland.
Okay.
And it's a university now. And I went there for radio television. It was the best school. I almost went to Emerson College in Boston. I chose to go to Ashland College. And so I started on the radio in let's see, the end of 1979, maybe, or the beginning part of 1980. It was college radio. I wasn't a natural. I sucked at it. I always seem to have chosen those things that I sucked at.
Right.
I would watch everybody around me in college radio, particularly in the early days, that were just naturals. They could get on a microphone and talk.
Right.
I had to write everything out. I stumbled. It was really horrible. I mean, I was really bad. But I don't know. But I kept doing it.
Yeah, you just keep doing it, and it eventually comes, right? So
I guess then as we moved along, my junior year, I was a music director, and then I was program director. Won every award that there was.
Oh, wow.
As a female, which They had those plaques with those little plates and the names.
Yeah.
And it was all guys, and I got the last little plaque at the end of that particular round of plaques, and I was a female, and that would be 1983.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, what kind of music were you? Is that where you were into the blues?
Whoa. I'm a rockhead, man.
You're a rockhead, okay.
Like I like rock music. Aerosmith, back then, Black Sabbath, a lot of punk rock. The Dead Boys, Stiv Bators. I was a Cleveland scene back there.
Right.
Of that. The blues it came again by accident. That was a complete accident there.
Right.
It was all rock.
Right.
Of course, ironically, the first commercial radio job that I had was on WNCO, Red, White, and Blue Country. And it was real country.
Right.
There was, it was a real deal. And it was on a radio station, and that was a 50,000 watt clear channels station. So it got into, 100,000, 50. Yeah, 50. And it got into Cleveland and Columbus market. It was huge. And so my first commercial radio job was country.
Wow.
And we're, playing 45s. I learned a lot about country. I interviewed, the year I was there, John Anderson was, Those Boys Were Swinging.
Yeah.
He was the Horizon Award winner. And I interviewed him and Tammy Wynette and a bunch of fucking artists I never heard of. Yeah, wow. back then. And it was really weird because I was coming out of college radio, and so there was a real edge to that.
Sure.
But I always liked commercial radio, so I ran the college radio station like a commercial radio station. But I mean, I did a show myself called Hot Wax, so I was doing a lot of at that time DC punk, and really, and so I was used to being the New York Dolls. I was used to being back behind stage with rock people, junkies, and it's like a day, and I'm a chick,
right?
So there was all kinds of things swirling around there, and then I get to country, and they want me to interview these country artists, and I couldn't believe when I would go on their tour bus how wonderfully polite they were.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. It was like a different world.
Right.
And that was my takeaway. The country artists were cool. When I left there, I left with liking, understanding Waylon Jennings. I liked a lot.
Right.
And Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And, some of those, older cats back then that weren't older cats. Rosanna Cash, I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Waylon and Johnny, they're kind of rock and roll for the
country
section.
They were actually really outlaw when I actually have the 45. It was brand new at the time. And when I left that station, I asked him if I could take some of the 45s. And it was a Rosanna Cash, My Baby Thinks He's a Train. And I just thought that song was great.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome.
So that's where it started.
Right. Now, what brought you to Buffalo?
That's such a roundabout. Yeah. So there was a lot of stations. So I did country. Then I had a boyfriend who graduated before me. He lived in Philadelphia. So I went out. I'm a beach kid, so it was a great fit for me. I went out to the East Coast and started getting jobs in radio. I was a copywriter. I was bouncing to all kinds of jobs. I was trying to get to the rock station. And at that time, that's where everyone wanted to be, right? They wanted to be at the rock station.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would do anything with eyes on that prize. I was a copywriter. I wrote copy. I was a news gatherer. I would in the really, early days, I don't do that anymore. I would get up at 4:30 in the morning and go to the police station, the fire station, gather news, write it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had all that skill set and worked at WSLT with A Song for You. Worked on another country station, which at that time they called it was like a top 40 country station, but nothing like the shit now.
Right,
I mean, I want to clearly, get that across.
Oh, I know that.
It was bad, but not like that. and all kinds of stations. And then eventually got to the rock station.
Right.
WMGM in Atlantic City.
Wow.
Yep. And that's how it started. And then from that point, I kept getting fired. So every time, so that was the first firing. But to be clear, I was always number one at the station. So it had nothing to do with performance. In fact, it probably had everything to do with performance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I was female, I had no idea that I was busting barriers. I had no idea. I was completely oblivious to it.
Right.
I mean, I have some of those old tapes, and I haven't heard them in a while, but I've heard them since I was a grown up.
Right.
And I understand now why. I was far better than I thought I was, and these guys didn't want it. They just didn't want it. Females were kind of confined to being pussycats and like sexy, on the overnight show.
Okay.
And I was just anything but that.
Right.
I just didn't fit that mold.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly remember you on 97 Rock.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got fired from that station. Then I decided, I thought I wanted to be in management, which is the funniest thing in the world, because I am the antithesis of management to this day.
Right.
I truly detest managers. And so I became a music director. Then I got fired from there. Then I decided after being fired twice, I was going to enjoy the summer because I'm a summer kid, beach kid, and I would just spend the summer on the beach. And so I'm on the beach and I need cigarettes. I ran out of cigarettes. So I walked, bathing suit, towel, and I went to Wawa's, which Wawa's would be like a Wilson Farms.
Okay.
And Wawa's is still there. It's Wawa, literally Wawa. George Harrison without the H.
Right.
And the radio station, WMMR in Philadelphia, which is still the greatest music station in the country, there's not many left, used to put out a little summer booklet, kind of like Hardtails magazine, but it was smaller, and it had every radio station in the country. It's what it did. It had advertisement and all. So I took it. I got my smokes, took that, and as I was walking, I said, "So where should I go next?" This is actually true, man. It's wild how it all worked, right? I closed my eyes and I went boom, and I landed on Boston, Massachusetts. And I went, okay, went in to, I still have the towel on me, went in and said, okay, that station. It was WAAF. And at that time, Boston had this great music scene, right? The Cars and Aerosmith and Till Tuesday and, Jay Giles. And so I called. Now, I was used to the game, the calling, and I am relocating to the area, and I was wondering if you could never get through to the program director.
Sure.
This whole song and dance I used to do. And I called the AIF and I gave him this receptionist my my song and dance. And she said, and I'd be like, so who's your program director? And she goes, would you like to talk to her? And it was a female, and her name was Cindy Slater. And she created a staff of people that were the greatest staff of people that I've ever worked with, but certainly in the country, there were other staffs as great, and she created it. And she said, hey, good timing. The overnight girl just left.
Oh, wow.
And she said, could you send me a tape? I said, yeah, of course. So we would send reel-to-reels.
Right.
And I sent her a reel-to-reel with, I always had my resume because I was always getting fired. And she calls me up. I mean, this is a major step here. And she said, would you be interested in doing part-time? And I said, yes. And she said, I want to hire you. You know why I want to hire you? And I was like, no. And she said, because the letter you wrote to me said, we. You never used I. You always used we. And so for about, I don't know, man, a month or two, I commuted from New Jersey to Worcester, Massachusetts.
Wow.
I would drive there and I would sleep on the floor of Bob Rivers, the legendary Bob Rivers.
Wow.
Twisted Christmas.
Yeah,
I was there when he was recording that shit.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
And I was hired. And then she, after, a month maybe, she said full time. And so I had to tell my boyfriend that who was a working musician with records being played on MMR in Philadelphia.
Right.
I had to say, I'm moving.
Right.
He liked the idea. He was in a great band then, and he liked the idea of Boston too. And we moved to Boston. And so I started working in Boston.
Right.
On our way there, we were in his new Mitsubishi truck because he was painting during the day to support his habit.
Right.
And I swear to God, this is true. And I think I'm talking too much.
Oh, no, this is great. I'm like, you got me on the edge of my seat. I love it. Yeah.
We had an apartment in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. We lived below ground. Which was the weirdest fucking thing. I had the heat on in August. It was so weird, man. And we were doing the last load of stuff. We were on the Jersey Turnpike, which there is nothing worse than Jersey Turnpike, man. I mean, you just got to know that.
Yeah, I've driven that.
Yeah, man. And that's when radio did traffic. They had people in the sky. Helicopters, and it was so much better. I don't give a shit about their cameras over overpasses. This was it, man.
Yeah.
And we were listening because we would listen to Howard Stern on WNBC, right? That was like with, pig vomit and everything. And they were saying, there's a car fire, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at my boyfriend, who would eventually become my husband in Buffalo.
Okay.
And I said, why are there always car fires? As I said that, I looked in the cowboy mirror of his new Mitsubishi truck that he had to pay extra to get a bumper.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And we were on fire.
Wow.
We were fucking on fire. We were on fire. And there were flames coming up over the cab. I go, Eddie! We pull over on the Jersey Turnpike. We are burning. I thought it was going to blow up.
Right.
So I go, run! Now I am so not overstating this. The entire Jersey Turnpike is now stopped. I'm running on the side to get away because I think it's going to blow up like, Brett on the TV.
Right.
Starsky and Hutch. And he goes, my guitar. He goes running back. I dropped and held his leg, and he was dragging me. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. He's pulling me back to the truck on his leg. He gets me off his leg, and he goes in I swear to God, a burning truck. I watched it happen. As he's going in to get his 1973 Fender Telecaster yellow, the banana one, that 72 or 73, off-duty firemen. This is now we're on the news.
Right.
We're in part of the helicopters are flying. An off-duty fireman who had a fire extinguisher come booking down, and as Ed's grabbing his guitar, which was hot, this dude was doing the white stuff.
Right.
And so he got his guitar was fine. I'm crying. Now here come the hard, city cops.
Right.
And they're like, you got to. So there's a lot of time elapsing. There's a backup that is it's incredible amount of miles. And he goes in Eddie's Mitsubishi truck, brand new. It's the first time he ever had something brand new.
Right.
Is a charred. It's charred. And the really nasty cop, they just been there, done it. He's like, I'm a girl. I want my mom. This is flipping. I want to go home. And he said, you got to get back in there and drive it. So, there was, it was pretty terrible.
Right.
And it was July 4th. So like July 3rd. So fireworks were going off.
Sure.
And we pulled into the truck stop that was packed from people who had been waiting for like 3 or 4 hours because of us. So when the truck pulled in, all the heads turned, everybody in the right, because we were burnt up.
Right.
It was burnt. And they all turned, most of them pissed off, like, there they are, the crazy blonde chick freaking out. And some dude come out with a shovel. And he goes, you might want to do this. So Ed shoveled out the ashes of the back of the truck because we had our stuff in it.
Right.
And we moved along and we entered Shrewsbury, Massachusetts sometime that night, burnt.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Did you end up making it to Boston in the burnt vehicle, or?
Absolutely. we that's what we pulled in.
Right.
And we had a key to the new apartment, and it was really dark, and we were really fucked up. And the next morning, the truck even looked worse. And I started working at AIF. It was a great station. It netted Ian O'Malley, who was one of the original VH1 DJs. My maid of honor, Annalisa, who's a huge personality in Chicago. Been around. She was at KFOG for years, as in San Francisco, as a major personality. It was pretty cool. The staff was all born in July and all left-handed. It was completely an accident.
Wow.
We were all left-handed.
Wow.
The whole staff. And that was really, and I was like the worst one on the staff.
Wow. But
I would watch Bob and Zip, these legendary people. Then they weren't legendary, but they were pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And I would watch them, and they brought me up. That's how I see it. They don't see it that way.
Right.
They see it as I was equal, but I'm telling you, I definitely was not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good to have a bunch of like folks like that, like mentors around you, right? To kind of
they were just better. They were better, man.
Yeah.
And Boston was a trip, man. So we still had the burnt truck, and I go, Eddie, let's go to Newberry Street. Let's go into Boston,
right?
Because we were outside of it, and maybe we'll see like rock stars or something. Some of the son of a bitch, man. We hear music. It's live. I go running to it. It is till Tuesday doing a free show in the Esplanade. Then we went to go get ice cream like below, brownstone, like you went under. Frickin' Peter Wolf.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, we are here.
That's right.
Yeah, it was great, man. And then I got fired from there. I was the first of the whole staff.
Oh, okay.
There was Cindy Slater got fired. Mm-hmm. So our Bodhisattva got fired.
Right.
And so I decided to do, and the new program director came in. His name was Harv Allen. And I decided that I would dedicate an hour of requested fat tunes for Harv Allen. He was grossly overweight. Mm-hmm. So I went in the air and dedicated all the requests to Harv Allen. So I learned like Fat Man in the Tub from Little Feat. Like, people are calling requests. I didn't know a lot of these songs, but I did fat tunes. And the next, within 20 hours, I was fired. Right. I was gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The kooky radio stuff,
got a call because when you would get fired, because radio was different then.
Right.
It wasn't corporate. Mm-hmm. So you could go across the street.
Yeah.
And every time I got fired, I made a lot more money. So I get a call. So they find, this great radio station in Providence, Rhode Island. A guy named, I forgot, Peter St. Vincent. I can't remember. It was one of those radio names. He calls me, my phone. And he goes, "Hey, heard what happened." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Fat tunes, amazing." I was like, "Yeah, fuck him, man."
Right.
He's gonna destroy our radio station. So he goes, "Listen, would you come down on Wednesday?" I said, "Yeah." So I went down to HJY in Providence, Rhode Island, in a car with no brakes. So I had a Datsun 210 with no brakes.
Oh, jeez.
And so I rolled to Providence, Rhode Island, and that is really true. And I got in, and I said to the secretary, "I'm here to." You really get my whole career, Jesus. Are you kind of getting bored?
No, absolutely not. Okay. No, this is great.
I really feel like I'm going
I love this stuff. So
yeah, I walked into that radio station and I said, "Hi, I'm here to see Vincent." What was Ron St. Pierre. I think his name was Ron St. Pierre. And the secretary looked mortified. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Just a minute." When it had turned out that he had gotten fired. Oh. Yeah, you always if you were good, you were getting fired all the time. Right. The old, you like that rockabilly stuff. And, those old boss jocks and stuff back then, they're all getting fired. Joey Reno, everybody getting fired.
Sure.
You just made more money.
Right.
That was just the nature of the game. Mm-hmm. He had gotten fired, and in came the Carolyn Fox. If you know radio, and you could Google, she was the first female shock jock. So at the time of Howard Stern, and you would see her on like Phil Donahue and this kind of thing. And I hated it because I was like hippie jock. I was like, and she was really caustic and rude, and she was everything. And she goes, "Wow." She had a laugh like the penguin on Batman, the original. And
right.
So I go, "Well, you're like a DJ. Why?" She goes, "I'm the interim. So what show do you want? Except the mornings." So so we went through this process, which was funny. And she said, "Okay, you're hired, but you've got," and she had a funny way of talking. So, "All right, but you got to promise me one thing." And I said, "What is that?" She goes, "Don't break the format," because I was known for just blowing up the format and playing great songs that people should have heard.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that now, oh my God, to think of that now, oh man.
Yeah.
And so, and I said, "Okay." And so I start working, and the first thing I did is break the format. The first song I played was at that time, Aerosmith's Season of Wither wasn't in that rotation.
Right.
I popped it right on. Fuck you.
They're good.
So I get a call. So I'm at HJY for, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, 10 months. It was great. Just great. Iggy Pop. It was, just everything was right. And John Hager.
Okay.
Now we're to Buffalo.
Okay.
John Hager called me and he said, 97 Rock in Buffalo is going to go back on the radio. Is going to plug back in.
Okay.
Because they were off for a few years. You know the history of
I was listening when Anne Murray came on. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's shocking.
Because that was the station that I grew up with.
Of course,
97
yeah.
Rock.
So in I think that would be 85, it unplugged for a couple years.
Okay.
WSLR or something. It became that light stuff.
Yeah.
And John Hager called me. And he was the program director. He was going to be the program director of 97 Rock. Mm-hmm. So why would John Hager call Anita West in Providence, Rhode Island? I was still living in Boston, but I commuted.
Okay.
Because here's the full 360, man. We have arrived. Because John Hager went to Ashland College, was the program director of WRDL, the college station. Mm-hmm. He was the program director. He was a senior. I was a freshman. Mm. He gave me my first show.
Oh, no kidding.
And then he graduated.
Right.
He was out. He got that award. The plaque before me.
Okay.
Was fucking John Hager.
Isn't that crazy?
And so I said, and so through the years, as your friends dispersed in radio, the cool thing was to get the radio station letterhead and, write a letter to your friends so they could see where you were.
Sure.
I knew, it's from talking too much, I knew 97 Rock. Mm-hmm. And in fact, John had got me tickets to the 82 Stone show in Syracuse. So I actually went into 464 Franklin, which was actually Virginia Place.
Right.
And remember the guitar on the wall. And I'm like, wow, this place is cool, man. It was 97 Rock. Mm-hmm. And that's... Yeah,
and that's how you.
There
got
was
here.
It's how I got here.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even going to come in, but I feel like I've just talked way too much.
Oh no,
the Buffalo chapter is a whole different thing.
But
that's how I got. That's how I finally got here. Everything's different, right? So you don't have cell phones or anything. I told John I want to move to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any desire to do that. He said, David Rich, the Rich family, because that's why I came, will fly. We're going to overnight you plane tickets. Please come down. Mm-hmm. I came down. Donnie T was part of that mix, believe it or not. And, that would be Harvey and Corky or Festival, was it?
Yep.
They took me around. We were in downtown Buffalo, and I said, when are we going to the city? So... So I decided I didn't want to be here. I flew back to Logan. I was so happy to be back to a real city. Mm-hmm. And they called me up again, and I said no. And they said, David Rich, he wants to just see you one more time. And I said, okay. They FedExed me. Yeah. I went down. Donnie T tried to talk me into, there was a lot of motion. Mm-hmm. I said, no. I went in the airplane. At that time, you could have your friends come on the airplane and sit with you and then leave the airplane, which is wild to think of.
Yeah.
Larry Norton was sitting next to me. He was going to Rochester because he had taken the job. Mm-hmm. And David Rich sat next to me. And he said, what will it take to get you here? I was 27 years old. I thought I threw a high number. that's one of my great regrets in life is I really could have thrown, I was reasonable.
Right.
And he, a couple days later, they called me, so you have the job. I told my boyfriend, I said, don't come. Let me get the money. I'll be there 1 year. Mm-hmm. And then I'll come back. And David, I was flying back and forth every weekend. A lot, not every, but a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was spending all the money on the long distance phone calls.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a stint where I was flying back and forth from New Jersey to Buffalo.
Newark Airport.
Yeah, I used to fly into Newark every Monday, fly home every Friday.
This would be Logan because he was in Boston. He was in a great band. Mm-hmm. They were getting major airplay on WBCN, and he was doing well. I didn't want to I said I'll be back. Mm-hmm. 2.5 years later, we got married. He flew away back to Boston, mm-hmm. and I said, "I'm out. I'm leaving." Okay. And he said, "I'm leaving." And then we had our first marital fight, mm-hmm. and he moved to Buffalo, and so here I am.
Right.
I 39 years later. It is actually an unbelievable story that I actually stayed. Mm-hmm. And I'm the last. And the funny thing is, I'm the last man standing.
Yeah.
At 97.
Yeah.
I am, and Hager, even Hager got blown out.
Right.
And he laughed and he goes, "I would have never thought you were going to be the last one." Yeah. Jesus, how long did it take to tell my story?
Well, I was going to say we're at the top of the hour. So we can keep going.
That was a whole hour?
That was a whole hour.
I talked an hour?
Yeah.
Well, you had to be kind of bored.
No, I was not. Believe it or not.
I don't know.
I love this stuff. I will tell you. So I was on the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame board, which is kind of how I got really entrenched in the local scene. I mean, I grew up with 97 Rock, but I had kids right out of college, so I really didn't know music. Once I had kids, I was raising family.
Yeah, understood.
So 20 years later, here I am in Buffalo. I lived in Batavia for a while and moved out here and worked here. And
where did you grow up?
I grew up in Fredonia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
great little school, man.
Yeah, it was a good school. And
that radio station there is righteous.
Yeah. WCVF, I think is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I know I went in it and I was like.
Oh, there was, I had EVR on my show not too long. Eric Van Rijsdam, right? And we went to college together, never knew each other.
He went there too?
He went there too. We were there same time.
I figured him for like a Buff State guy or something.
No, he was, he loved
I love Eric so much.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Buffalo, it's come a long way. Mm-hmm. But musically, I consider Buffalo more of their history would be more like, to me it appeared the strong suit was like punk rock.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I say that because Eric and Terry and the Headhunters and
sure.
Even going back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It seemed like that was the really strong suit. The one thing I didn't like that was very different for me when I moved here, and actually I scorned it, was giving cover bands any kind of attention or award. Mm. And those awards back then at Mannequins, it was connected to a hotel.
Right.
A dreadful place. Mm-hmm. I hated that place. Yeah. I remember being repulsed because I am a deep music head. Mm-hmm. Repulsed. And Hager he made me do that award. I didn't want to.
Right.
And then the second time he picked me up in a snowstorm. And then there was no third time because I said, I will not do this anymore. Mm-hmm. So Buffalo, I don't think it was, thank God for the Goo Goo Dolls, man.
Yeah. Well, like when I was growing up.
The Jumpers were absolutely incredible. The Jumper. So you had the bands.
Yeah.
But like these, I'm not going to name the bands. Mm-hmm. They're getting awards.
Yeah.
Your Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, people are getting in there that are like, they're not even that good.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
But the Jumpers, those kind of, those kind of bands, amazing.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, the Jumpers finally made it in, of course, thanks to our good buddy, Bruce Mosier. He was the one who really championed them. But that's a whole other story. And for 10 years, it was a bar contest. If you won 3 years in a row, you were retired to the Hall of Fame. That's how it worked. And a lot of people were like, how can we have a Buffalo Music Hall of Fame with no George Hound Dog Lorenz, with no,
amen, man,
with no Tommy Tedesco, with, with a whole bunch of these, no Harold Arlen. I mean, how do you have a music Hall of Fame? It wasn't a rock and roll Hall of Fame. It was a music Hall of Fame.
Understood. And even the Rock Hall in Cleveland is a music hall.
Exactly.
And it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's changed and it's morphed over the years. But, when I got involved, it was because I was an Elvis fan. So Susan Banks was part of the board at the time.
I loved Susan
Loved
Banks.
Susan. So
it's my early days, man. I loved Susan. We had such just as a little carrot here, we had, when I moved here in '88, there was so many great local personalities on TV and radio.
Yeah.
And Susan Banks was one of them. Mm-hmm. It is a shell of its former self.
Yes.
What is going on now? But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just she was, she found out I was an Elvis fan at work, and she says, all right, tough guy. You're a big Elvis fan. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. She says, when did he die? I'm like, oh, come on. August 16th, 1977. Next question. She says, all right, what was the first thing he ever recorded? I'm like, ooh, you want me to say that's all right, but that's not the first thing he recorded. It's that he recorded My Happiness for his mother. And that's how Marian Keisker, who was the receptionist at Sun Studios, she was actually the one that told Sam Phillips, I found your boy. And that's how...
Susan must have given you that Susan Banks grin.
Yeah, like she did. She says, you do know your stuff. She says, you belong on the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
She was hustling you? That was a hustle?
That was a hustle.
Wow.
And I was there for 11 years. Yeah. But that started me on my crazy venture to collect at least one recording of every inducted member in the Hall of Fame. And now, of course, I've gone beyond inducted members and focus on local music, especially original stuff.
You were the person because I emceed Buffalo Music Hall of Fame induction when Cannibal Corpse went in and Johnny James.
Oh yeah,
I had a great time. You guys never asked me back.
That
was I too?
No,
radio?
You were great. That's for a different show, folks.
Well, yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm not here. No, you were great because Jim Santella that year too.
Jim went in?
Jim went in?
No, Buffalo Music Hall. No, I'm not talking about the Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
No, he was inducted into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame.
The year I did that?
The year you did that. Johnny James. Yep,
I remember
Cannibal
Johnny,
Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse, and Ed Supple.
And Linda Lou Shriver.
Yes.
Because Joni got up on stage and played, and I'm like, holy crap, her mother. And I'm like, man, Joni can play. You talk about old time country.
Yeah. That's real. Play. Let me tell you, and I think Dwayne Hall and the Sportsman's Tavern, the greatest family of Buffalo, without reserve. I think he really embodies that. Mm-hmm. And, listen, good is good is good.
Right.
So even though I repel from country, like, kryptonite, I don't repel from good. Mm-hmm. And good is good. And those old cats, Jesus.
Yeah.
Pickers. Like your Elvis Presley guys.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Pickers, man. They were playing around, man.
Jerry Reed, man. Jerry could play some guitar.
Hell yeah, man. And listen, Doug Yeomans. Let's go local.
Yeah.
Yeomans, amazing. He's like a session guy.
Yeah.
So Dwayne, I mean, I'm telling you, when I was booking CPG and I started to expand, so I had the blues, Thursday Night Blues. That's where it started. It was... we fire coded the place. So I started to branch out. I started doing Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
I booked Dwayne Hall and his band. It was the first time that Dwayne came out of the hut to do a bar.
Okay.
Because I love those guys, Kenny, Berenger. I loved those people. To this day I do. Jay Hall. It doesn't get better.
No. Yeah.
They're honest. They're no bullshit, man.
No. Oh, I know.
And that's what makes them great. And they're hard workers.
Yeah.
So, in any Rust Belt town, hard worker, no bullshit. You got my attention because I'm from Cleveland and I've lived in Buffalo longer than where I grew up. So I'm a Rust Belt kid, man.
That's kind of me too. I've lived in Buffalo longer than I was at Fredonia. So
he played. I was so excited. I had Dwayne Hall. What was his band?
Stone Country.
Stone Country was going to play CPG. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe it. I was so thrilled for this. It was like maybe April 9th or something. 3 hours before the show, we had one of those crazy snowstorms.
Oh.
And it flipped the audience attendance to very little.
Right.
Dwayne goes, honey, you lost your ass on this one. I go, yeah. He goes, let me buy you a drink. I go, I would love that. Thank you. He's the best.
Yeah, he is. Oh, I love Dwayne.
You'd be fun to interview.
Oh, well, thank you. So, because I'm on the board of the Sportsman's Americana Music Foundation now. So I'm a vice president currently.
Are you really?
Yes.
So you're no longer with
No, I stepped down in 2018 of the Hall of Fame. I had 11 years. I did a lot of good work.
People are allowed to step down.
Oh, yeah.
People are going, Bill Wyman quit the Stones. What are you fucking? You can't quit anything after 30 years.
Right.
You're moving on, man.
Yeah,
right?
It was time. I mean, unfortunately, at the time, my parents were not in good health. And I had to do some stuff with them. And in 2020, I lost both my mom, dad, and my brother
in 2020?
In 2020. Not from COVID either.
Jeez.
From, dementia. My brother had cancer and,
mom
had Alzheimer's. And it was.
My God.
It was a rough time. But, I actually got involved in the Hall of Fame or the foundation, like right before, was that November of 2019. So I was just getting my feet wet on the foundation and then boom, COVID hit. And of course, all of our programs had to stop because we were doing a lot of education with kids, right? So we couldn't go in the schools. We couldn't really do much. So,
right.
But now we're getting our feet wet again and rocking and rolling.
I think you guys, I mean, it's just, I really like it, though I'm not an Americana girl, though there's like some edgy crossover shit. So I hate to label stuff. That's what happened to radio.
Right.
They started labeling. So and I am the antithesis of label. Mm-hmm. So when we started with blues, right? I worked at BFO, which was my most favorite gig in Buffalo. And got fired from BFO by a TV guy.
Right.
Yeah, that was just I couldn't fucking believe I got fired by a TV guy who hated music. He never wanted the blues down there. So when I came down to BFO, the corporate BFO, I had a target on my back because, as Jim Santello wrote in his book so accurately, I ran a campaign. I was the ghostwriter of the campaign to get blues to BFO. Mm-hmm. But blues, it's funny. I just said it on the radio Saturday, which I haven't said in so long, but I used to say it on BFO all the time. If you like rock music, you like the blues by default. You don't even know it.
Sure.
So when Bert Gambini called me, at my house, I said, and I could tell he's a radio guy. I'm a one-trick pony. I listen to 97 Rock.
Sure.
Right back then, I've never even heard of half these stations that are here. I don't know. I like Nicholas Pickles. He's a great guy, but I don't know these Joy and all these things. Kiss Magic country station. Obviously, I wouldn't listen to. And so this guy calls me, and he has a radio voice, and I'm like. It was snowing, and I'm a summer kid, so I was barely holding on. It was the snow. I was making sauce. And the first thing I said to him is, who the fuck gave you my number? That was how I started at BFO. It's a true story, man. Bert Gambini will tell you. And he goes, we would like you to come down here and do a blues show. And I said, yo, dude, I said, I don't know the blues, man. And your audience, I can't fake them out. That's real deal. So he goes, I think you would be good. And I said, thanks, but no thanks. Click. True story.
Wow.
And of course, you know, I brought the blues community up to a different level.
Sure. I was going to say, now I think you're known as a blues.
Yeah, wild, huh?
Yeah.
So I went to 97, and JP was on the radio, and I said, "Hey, dude, you ever hear this station WBUF?" And he goes, "BUF?" I go, "Yeah, they called me." I go, "NPR?" He goes, "You mean BFO?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, BFO." He looks at me. He goes, "Why'd they call you?" I said, "They want me to do a fucking blues show, man. Are you kidding?" You know, I'm all like 97 Rock, like snotty and shit.
Right.
And he goes, his eyes got wide. He goes, "Did you say yes?" I said, "What? Why would I say yes? Are you kidding?" I go, so Hager. So I'm with, and I, you know, that conversation went on. Then this is like this is turning into a 3-hour long form, like Joe Rogan. I kind of like that.
Right.
You know, it'd be like, eventually I'll have to go to the bathroom or something like Ted Nugent did. He got up. He goes, "I'll be right back." I went into Hager and I go, "Hey, John, I got to ask you something. Do you know that station BUF?" He goes, "BUF?" I go, "The NPR station." He goes, "BFO?" I go, "Yeah, that one. They called me up." "Why'd they call you up?" I go, "They want me to do a blues show." He goes, "What'd you say?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Did you say yes?" I said, "Am I allowed?" He goes, "It's an NPR, you know." He was like, you know, he was commercial snob. You know, he's like, I go, "Really?" JP gave me a box of records, of CDs, and I said yes. And I went there, and I played a lot of blues bass rock, Led Zeppelin.
Sure.
And their audience hated me. No, bad. It was really bad.
Wow.
The first year, David Benders hung in. And I would drop my son off at school, and I would go to Borders Books.
Okay.
I'd put on the headphones, and I had a notepad. And that's how I learned the real blues.
Gotcha.
I knew a lot of blues through rock music. The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? My favorite band.
Yep.
Led Zeppelin, you know. But then, and that's how you know, eventually they stopped get this 97 Rock DJ off the airwaves letters. And it became my favorite job.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I self-taught. And the cool thing was the blues audience. Now, these are NPR listeners. They've already gone through 97 Rock. You know, they're like, you know, we've moved on here, man.
Sure. Yeah.
They said in years, you know, as years went on, how fun it was to listen to me actually bloom into the blues, because I never lied about it.
Right. That's
you know,
great.
I never faked it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I just found out, like, you know, the Animals' House of the Rising Sun isn't theirs.
Right.
So I'm going to play what I learned. And they already, these are blues people, man. And they already knew it.
Right.
And they just really embraced me, and I loved that gig. And I was sorry to lose that job.
Yeah.
It was corporate. I had a target on my back when I walked in, man. You know, yeah. It was like, oh, this is her. Yeah. So,
well, Anita, we got to cut short. We got to leave some stories for the next session.
Is there a part 2?
Oh, there will be a part 2. For
really?
Sure. Hey, it's my show. I can invite anybody I want.
How long are you going to edit all this now?
Oh, I'll take out some O's and sums, and that's about it.
You think so? How long did we go?
We're about an hour and 15.
Oh, okay. So it's only 15 over?
Yeah, we're only 15 over. We're good.
Don't edit it. How?
Oh, I don't edit hardly anything. I'll take ums and so's out. Dead time, you know.
Oh, you're a techie guy like that.
Yeah,
huh?
I like to
make it all clean and neat.
I don't make it too clean.
That's not cool for an Elvis dude, bro. Yep. There was no clean up about Elvis, man.
I leave a bunch of ums. If there's big, I'll take that off. But other than that.
I have to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Because now I'm in. I want water, a glass of wine. I love this long form. It's like Joe Rogan. I mean, you know, terms of long. It's better than Club Random because he even cuts it off, after a while.
Right.
He pretends like it's all loose. What did you think? Now, I have a direct opinion about it. What did you think about the Elvis movie that won?
Baz Luhrmann's with Austin Butler?
The last one that came out.
Yeah, that was with Austin Butler.
What was the name of that?
It was just, I think,
Elvis.
It was just called Elvis, yeah.
Okay, I went to the theater because I love theater,
yeah.
right? I went to the theater to see it. And I'm not going to tell you what I thought. I want to ask an Elvis guy what he thought.
I was not all that impressed.
I thought it was the most brilliant Elvis movie I'd ever seen.
And here's the thing.
It captured that blues transition, man. That gospel soul thing, man.
As a purist, I had watched a lot of interviews with Baz Luhrmann before the movie came out. And he was so much, I did my history, I did this. He meshed a lot of stuff together. I mean, I had a friend call me, he says, now, Colonel Parker, I said, that wasn't his only manager. He had a guy named Bob Neal who was his manager.
Elvis Presley?
Elvis Presley, yeah. Yeah. Colonel was not his first manager. So, and if you may see around town, there's posters that show Elvis at the Odd in 1957. He was there that day, April 1st. And I have a whole story about that because Bob Smith took a picture of that. And I printed it where I worked.
Dude, we have to do another show.
All this other stuff. Well, there's an other poster that lists that Elvis was here on January 26, 1956. And that's actually incorrect because he was actually at the Louisiana Hayride that day. And that was the day that he dropped Bob Neal and took Colonel Parker on as his manager.
Wow.
So he got some, on Beale Street, with Sister Rosetta Tharpe and all
that, man.
All those, they kind of pushed that in because it's a movie and you can't, if you did it chronologically, it would be a 12-hour movie, right? So I could give away that, I could see that, but some of the other stuff, I'm like, no, they left out, and of course they left.
Okay. Listen,
yeah,
and you're way in,
yeah,
and I get it. Believe me, I'm a purist. I'm anal that way. I get it. But with a movie, they're going to collage things. They're going to drop some things. What I liked about that movie, they didn't focus on his drug use.
Right.
They went right to it, man.
The music, yeah.
They went right to it, man. When Elvis felt it in the black, blues, they went woo-ha. And that shit was true, man.
Well, and that last scene where he's singing Unchained Melody, and they blended Austin Butler into the real Elvis.
Yeah.
Austin Butler was Elvis.
It was
channeled.
Extraordinary.
No doubt about it. When he first came on stage and he had that pink suit, I looked at my wife. I'm like, can I get one of those for my birthday? And she's like, yeah. She says, I figured you'd want one of those. I'm like, oh my God, that was, yeah. There was good stuff. And it's funny because
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was endorsed by the daughter at the time.
Oh yeah, Lisa Marie and Priscilla.
Yeah.
So
that didn't help make it more credible for you?
When I watched it a second time, and my wife told me, she says, what you're hung up as Baz Luhrmann's style. She said, we watched it again on TV on, I don't know, on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, so did I.
And then I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Wow, cool.
So it is funny. I had Jeff Schaller on, and we spent a long time talking about that movie.
It was just, I was just
because he had the same thing. He said the
over.
first time I didn't, and then he says I saw it a second time, and I'm like, yeah, that's. But Austin Butler had the moves. He had and he even talked like
he was channeling it.
Oh my
man.
God! Because he even said, he says, you go back to the 50s, and Elvis's voice was a little higher back then. He says, and then it changed a little bit, for around the 68 comeback special. And then once he was in the 70s, his voice kind of morphed as he got older. So he like studied. I mean, he studied.
Well,
all
don't
that
voices
stuff.
lose their highs? I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm so bassy now. It even sometimes I don't even understand me.
Right.
You know, there's no brightness, there's no highs anymore.
Right.
I just don't have them.
Yeah, and you listen to some of those old recordings, and it's like, yeah. Especially you listen to them on vinyl, and there's so much there.
Dude, I have Elvis Presley stuff in my collection.
Oh, I do too.
I think the greatest thing I ever saw was I think about it all the time is when Elvis Presley in the black, and it was black and white, and he had those session guys, man, and that's the essence of Elvis Presley.
Yes.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I get chills when I watch it. What am I watching? How do I?
Yeah.
Every time I see that segment, that concert by Elvis.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, and of course, you know the Buffalo connection with Elvis, right?
No. Buffalo always has a connection.
Always has a connection. So
what is it?
Well, his conductor in the Vegas years was Joe Gershio. He's from Tonawanda.
All right. Is he related to Gershio?
Yeah. No, Joe Gershio was Elvis's conductor for many years, and he was the conductor on the Great Aloha from Hawaii special.
So Joe Gershio's from Buffalo?
Yes.
Is he related to the Gershio groceries?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Were they Niagara Falls guys? Because I'll tell you, a lot of those cats are over there, man. Yeah. Niagara Falls.
I know.
Wow.
I know he was originally from Tonawanda, so he was in my neck of the woods. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I got to ask Gershio.
Yeah.
I'll go down there and ask.
Yeah.
Joe Gershio?
Joe Gershio.
That's crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, man. Elvis Presley, he was just one more thing. I used to put this out on the radio and with music heads, we would, so here was what the conversation would be. I would say, who do you think is, and this is like just debate and repartee, sure. There is no real answer here. Well, who is more important in the scheme of music? Muddy Waters or Elvis Presley?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's
fucking right.
Right. That's a hard one. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So we have to have, I'll go help. Oh,
that's right.
Presley, I got the Presley guy going. Yeah, what? I mean.
I don't, yeah.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah. So before we go, I got to tell you my Elvis story. So,
I'd love to hear
So I'm
Elvis
in the
story.
printing business, right? And this is kind of what leads up to Susan Banks. So I think it was 2001. I worked for a printing company, and we were downtown in the Trico building, and in walks this guy with his mom and his wife, and it was Bob Smith, the photographer from the Buffalo News. And he asked our receptionist, he says, "Do you guys print posters?" And she says, "Yeah, what do you got?" Well, he takes out an 18 by 24 inch black and white print of Elvis in the gold lame jacket with the guitar on the toes at the Odd, 1957, April 1st.
Wow.
And she says, on his toes.
Gee,
yep.
Yeah.
It hangs at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's him?
That's him.
That's from Buffalo?
That's from Buffalo.
I know. I mean, that's an iconic.
Yes.
I thought, there's no way he's talking. Everybody knows that picture.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
So I got to print that picture. So our receptionist says, "Wait, I got the guy for you." So I come out, I take him to my little cube where I got Elvis stuff hanging around. He says, "You're one of those Elvis nuts, aren't you?" And I said, "You can call me that." And so he says, "I got the right guy." So it turns out that when he took that photo in 1957, he wasn't there as a news photographer. He knew a local cop who got him into backstage and let him come in. He brought his medium format camera, which is why he got such great shots. So he took 24 shots, and he's got this great shot of Elvis on two knees singing to the audience, and he got that great shot that everyone knows. So I
can't believe that's a Buffalo photographer. He worked for the news?
He worked for the news. Yep, Bob Smith. He was a Bill's photographer too. So he took all
so I'm so going to remember this for 97 Rock.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit.
Oh yeah. The story was that the AP ran it the next day, but he sent a copy of that photo and a couple of the other photos to Colonel Parker, and said, hey, I got these great shots. Well, Colonel Parker never said anything to him about it. He never bought them or anything like that. So when Colonel Parker passed away, and this is the story that I was told, was that Elvis Presley Enterprises bought all of Colonel Parker's stuff. And they went, oh, look at this great shot. So they started using this photo on like telephone, Elvis phones and all this other stuff. And ironically, I got married for the second time in the year 2000, and my ex and I went to Graceland for our honeymoon. We were there for the candlelight vigil.
I've always wanted to go there, man.
We've got this fan that says, I'm an Elvis fan. That picture is on that fan. Oh. And it turns out they were using it without permission. So they have the rights to the shot. So one of Bob's friends said, hey, do you know they're using your shot? So he called up Elvis Presley Enterprises and said, we need to have a conversation. He says, I didn't threaten him or anything like that. So I went down. He says, I had a discussion with him.
He's got the proof.
He's got the proof. Yeah, he's got the negatives. And I have an original print from Bob on that show. Oh, my
God, and,
Jesus. He says, long story short, he says, I made a deal and my family's good for 100 years. So it was, wow. So he says, I get the rights to print a poster. So I did the graphics. We got we made it as a black and a reflex blue duotone with blue Elvis letters that say Elvis. And we did a limited edition print run. And he sold those, and you can't find them now. They're extremely hard to find. And he signed one for me. He says, I didn't sign. He says, on this date that I signed is the only time you're the only one I signed on this day. He says, because you're pretty cool. And then I got the opportunity to, my former brother-in-law, he was working at Atlantic Records at the time, and he was interviewing with a headhunter in New York to go to Sony Records. So he called up and he says, dude, he says, my headhunter, they're looking for an EVP for Elvis Presley Enterprises. You got to come down. He says, you got it lock, stock, and barrel. So I call up Bob and I said, hey, I got this opportunity to interview for Elvis Presley Enterprises. I said, you got any names I can drop, blah, blah, blah. So he gave me a couple of his prints. So I went down there and I talked to him and I said, you got to understand something. There's 3 levels of Elvis fans. I said, there's the guys that want all the shtick and they want the cheesy stuff. Then there's the people that really love the music. And then there's guys like me. I don't want Elvis's picture on my shirt. I want to wear what Elvis wore. I said,
heavy duty.
I want to be Elvis right
heavy.
There. So I made it through the screener. She's like, all right.
Wow.
And I gave him some ideas. And then I went in and I talked to the headhunter. His name was Warren Wasp. And he says, how do I convince Bob Sillerman, who from FX Entertainment, who had just bought Elvis Presley, to hire? He says, how do I convince him to hire a print salesman from Buffalo for this job? I says, I can do it. Well, I did not get that job.
No shit.
But right at the same time as when I met Susan, because the same company I worked for, we did all the pre-press for all the Harry Potter books. So we did all the scans and all the graphic work.
Huge.
Yeah. And so she was doing some PR for us. And my former sales manager, he always thought Elvis was kind of pedestrian. And, you can't be talking to, major companies about Elvis. And he was totally wrong. But
yeah, I'd say.
So we had two machines that made film. One was a 330 and one was a 3030. And the 330 did little 8.5, 11 pieces. And the 3030 did big ones. Well, when my guys would send what should go to the little one to the big printer, they wasted a ton of film. So I said, look, I'm renaming the 3030 to Elvis. Well, what does that stand for, big guy? I said, it stands for Extra Large Version Image Setter.
Oh, whoa, hey, sharp.
They're like, well, you pulled that out of your ass, didn't you?
Yeah.
So my sales manager was telling this story to Susan Banks, and then that's how the whole story went, and I got on the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame board, and here I am.
Whoa! So that was you did a swing around. I didn't know that it was ending that way.
Yep, that's and now here I am.
Wow,
I just love local music.
I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I don't typically, I say no to everything just because that's who. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
This is real. I love the Flamingo Lounge.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've had a blast. So
holy shit, man, we gotta, dude. We should. My God, this makes me want to be like Flamingo Lounge number 2.
There you go.
I mean, this is just a great setup.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Takak in the early after BFO fired me, I always thought back then that. He goes, you'd be great with a podcast. And I'm not saying that, I'm like, I don't do that. Again.
Yeah.
But this is really, what a great, you're a deep music head, man.
Yeah. I love the local scene, and I want these stories to be preserved. And that's why I love hearing the stories from everybody. And I don't want to just hear them from the veterans. I want to hear them from the musicians that are coming up. And we got some great young musicians in this town, really. And you talk about music as art. You'll if you haven't been yet, kids, go, because
music is art. I mean, I don't understand why Robbie Goo does not have a key to this city.
Right.
We have given, I'm not, keys that shouldn't. We should get the key back.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Goo is Robbie Takak has done more for Buffalo than anybody. I mean, this guy's they're going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Okay. Period.
Yeah.
And they, along with his partner, have written one of the greatest songs ever written.
Mm-hmm.
It's timeless, and it will last forever and ever and ever and ever. That song alone, Iris, is it.
Yeah.
If they never, and here, and Johnny's off doing his thing in, Los Angeles, wherever he is on the West Coast. And here's Robbie,
yeah.
And music is art. They lose money, man.
Oh gosh.
That's a much, but he does it. And his ideas are incredible. He gave me one when we were at the Silo during 2020.
Sure.
And he goes, this is where you're going to be. And I have such a love for the grain elevators. I was a docent, everything else. And I said, Robbie, I said, man, I got to tell you, I'd follow you off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
You just, I know you're going to, this isn't, even from my standards, this is insane, brother.
Yeah.
Made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Made it work.
Yep.
Robbie is he is a gem in Buffalo, and he needs a key, and they really need to have a Robbie Day.
Mm-hmm.
Period. There's no reason why not.
Yep.
So
they should give him right next to Lance Diamond Way. They need to have Robbie.
Hell yeah, man! Right? And that goes together Crossroads. In and of itself. Yeah.
Exactly.
East West.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
for
welcome, Anita. Thank
staying
you.
on me and understanding. I was allergic to cats and couldn't come, but I got to tell you, I like this Flamingo. I have a feeling I like this one better. This setup. I like this setup, man.
Oh, cool. All right.
No cats.
I think you dig the actual lounge, but this is fun. So, for everyone who's tuned in, I hope you've had just as much fun as we have, because I know we've had a blast. And Anita, will definitely have you back for sure.
Oh, I'd love that. I want to interview you. I do. We can do a reverse.
We'll do a reverse. You get
a West Flamingo. Yeah, I love it.
A black flamingo.
Thank you for having me. You've made my whole day. It's been a really horrible long winter,
mm-hmm.
and you've really made my day.
Oh, good.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, for everyone who's tuned in, you can always find the podcast where you find your podcast at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, YouTube, thebuffalohive.com. And of course, you can always find the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. And I'll have the podcast there. I'll have a bunch of pictures that Anita sent me, and maybe even in a nice little digital flip book like I've done in the past, and some links where you can listen to her on the radio and find out where she's booking some of these great
just had a good one.
Blues shows.
We just had a good one the Saturday night, man.
There you go. So for everyone who's tuned in, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by CatsLikeUs.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. And by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. and some other nights too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.